And I was like, what is this about? What?
That's okay though. For being so young, you're very, very smart. That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So keep up the good work, man, and stay flat, okay?
Okay, I'm a flat earther. She couldn't do it. I'm a flat earther. I'm a flat earther.
Change scene. So, welcome to anti-religious scripture study.
Are we live right now?
Yeah, now we're live. Like there was a minute left on the song, and I accidentally bumped the scene thing with my pad, and then it switched scenes. So here we are, because like it went from the scene playing the song to ending scene, and I was like, no.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Okay.
Oh, it's so funny. Sorry. Anyway.
Are they able to see me full screen yet? Just for a minute.
Okay, here, no, let me put you on full screen. Okay, now you're full screen.
All right, so here I am in the midst of Sukkot, 7-day celebration. It's the celebration that is commanded that we must celebrate for 7 days, and we are to dwell in sukkahs. So if you look right here in my background, that's my sukkah that I built right there. Sukkah comes from the root word suk, which means thicket, like intertwining sticks, and temporary dwelling. And then if you see over my shoulder, I just put Sukkot on a sign right here, and yeah, I'm out in the wilderness having a good time, sleeping. The first night was rough because it rained, so I had to throw a tarp up real quick, but I love it. I love sleeping out here. It's been pretty nippy out here the last couple days, down to 40 degrees at night, and I think the weather's making my beard grow longer. It's I feel like it's fuller. But yeah, it's an awesome time. Been partying, since Wednesday, so, and have a few days left, and it's a good time. Everybody should, experience it, I hope. But Leviticus 23 is the list of the Moedim. We've done some episodes on that, describing the different Moedim, so check it out. All right, so do you want to change it to the screen where you can see my screen? And I'll pull up Eastward.
Yeah, well, if you just share screen, it'll just, it should work out.
Is that how we do it? Okay.
Well, if you have to share it, since I can't get it to load on mine, then yeah, I guess that's what we're going to have to do.
Okay. Okay. And can you see? It might look like repeating forever because.
Oh, there it goes. Okay. As at first I saw myself, I'm like, why am I seeing myself?
If I close this, I hope it doesn't hang up. Okay. We're all good, right?
Yes.
All right. Oh, wrong one. Oh boy. What did I do? I opened math. Okay, that was weird. All right, Just Jack's disclaimer. To the religious, if you believe it's wrong to study scripture outside of your religion or denomination, if you believe your religious leaders or church fathers are incapable of having inherited anti-scriptural traditions of men, if you've already made up your mind about scripture, including the scripture shouldn't be studied at all, then this stream is not for you. To others, if you are open-minded to others' opinions, if you haven't made up your mind about scripture, if you've been turned off to religion but believe there's truth in scripture that may have been changed or hidden by religion, if you live according to scripture and like to dig in and discover more, then this stream is for you. We are looking at scripture in the original language using concordances or dictionaries for root words, as well as context from a non-religion perspective. We will as well have life experience discussion. We are not here to argue with others about theology or doctrine by the traditions of men, including Catholicism, Christianity, or Judaism. We will be discussing the importance of origins and show how religions contradict the scriptures. There you go. All right, and then we're going to pull up eSword here. And we are on chapter 24. And can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, I will change it to the scriptures version so that you can read it. And we will go from there. Why is that not working? So this is that same issue that you were having. This is why the chapter is not showing up, because that first verse is off. So I don't know why it's doing that. I can actually pull up...
Your drink.
Thank you. My wife has brought me a drink because it is the Moed. It is the celebration. All right, so go here. eSword. And this is my full translation here. And I got a bookmark to go to 24. There we go. So the verse, the different names have the definitions here, so that's not really that important. But one thing that I do want to point out here, and I'll blow it up a little bit so everybody can see.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you.
Whoops, that's too far. All right. Come on. All right. So it's the 70 elders. And elders is those who beard from. Okay? So you do not qualify in Scripture as an elder if you do not have a beard. I'm just saying, though. That's important to me. Okay?
Okay.
All right. And now I'll close that, and we can continue. And go ahead and read verse 1, and then we'll move on.
Alrighty. And to Moshe he said, "Come up to Yehovah, you and Aharon, Nadab, what is that? Abihu?
Yep.
And 70 of the elders of Israel, and you shall bow yourselves from a distance."
Okay, so up to this point, the only person that was allowed to go up on the mountain was Moshe. So this is the 70 that are in charge of the 100, that's in charge of the 50, that's in charge of the, and so on and so forth. As we talked about when Moshe's father-in-law came and visited him and said, it's too much for you to take on for yourselves. So the 70 are the ones directly underneath him. And this is a parallel of the Greek translation of the Torah, which was written by 70 elders. When they asked for the history of the Egyptian, it was one Egyptian priest. When they asked for the Torah from the elders of Israel, they used 70 for the Septuagint. And then they all had almost perfectly exactly the same. Out of 70 people with copies of the Torah, almost exactly the same. So it's the most preserved translation of the scripture. All right, and then I'm going to blow this up so people can see that. All right, go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. But Moshe shall draw near to Yehovah by himself, and let them not draw near, nor let the people go up with him.
All right.
And Moshe came and related to the people all the words of Yehovah, and all the right rulings. And all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which Yehovah has spoken, we shall do.
Right, and for this, it's not related. It's gave a record or gave an account. And the reason that's important is this part right here. This is an ancient Near Middle Eastern agreement to a contract, otherwise known as a covenant. So all the words which Jehovah has spoken, we shall do. So this is also what we talked about in Exodus chapter 19, when he says, if you will hear and obey my voice and guard my covenant, you will be to me the Segula, the protected treasure from all the peoples. So this common phrase of all that you say, I will do, is the agreement to a contract.
All right.
And let me stretch this down so you can see a little bit more at a time.
That's cool. Yeah, thanks.
No worries.
And Moshe wrote down all the words of Yehovah, and rose up early in the morning, and built a slaughter place at the foot of the mountain, and 12 standing columns for the 12 tribes of Israel.
All right, so when it says Moshe wrote down all the words of Yehovah, this is not the 10 Commandments. These are all the commandments. These are all the things that Yehovah said, okay, Moshe, I want you to copy down what I'm about to say. And this is from Genesis 1:1 on, right? So it was the Creator that spoke, Bereshit bara. Okay, so that's the first 2 words in the Torah, and Moshe copied it down letter for letter. Okay?
Okay. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, and they offered ascending offerings and slaughtered slaughterings of peace offerings to Yehovah of bulls.
Okay, a lot of decipher here. All right, so Yisrael, and do the lifting up of him, and the on above, that's the lifted offering of, and they sacrifices shalom. Shalom's plural, actually. Shalom is the completion piece. In other words, everything is taken care of, that you don't have to worry about it. Here, I missed the prefix, but it says to or for Yehovah. The treaders. So in this case, it's bulls, as in those who tread the ground for harvesting. Okay? Or planting, sorry, not harvesting.
And Moshe took half the blood and put it in basins, and half the blood he sprinkled on the slaughter place.
Yep, so this is a blood covenant.
And he took the book of the covenant and read in the hearing of the people, and they said, all that Yehovah has spoken we shall do and obey.
Okay, so now we're having, instructions given to the children of Israel. And if you remember, in Exodus chapter 20, where the quote-unquote alleged 10 commandments are, the commandments continue on. And they continue on for another 11 chapters before he even receives the 2 tablets. So this is not speaking of the quote-unquote 10 commandments or the 10 words. This is a continuation of the commandments that gets continued to be added to until they go into crossing the Yarden into the promised land. And again, this is the contract agreement, right? This is them agreeing to the covenant. And you can see this is not just a thing in the version of the scriptures that we're reading, but even in the King James Version, all that the Lord has said we will do and be obedient, right? So it's basically, we hear what you're saying and we're going to do that. Yeah?
Right. Okay.
Thank you, baby. Sorry, I was talking to my wife.
And Moshe took the blood and sprinkled it on the people and said, see the blood of the covenant which Yehovah has made with you concerning all these words. And
okay, so another important thing about this is it's the blood of the covenant which Jehovah has made with you. Okay, so what this means is that if the contract is broken, the only way to renew it, or the word renew is the word translated into new in the New Testament. New Testament literally means renewed covenant, renewed contract. It's not New Testament, it's renewed contract. Okay? So this means that if the contract is broken, the only way to renew the covenant is by the blood of either the people, because it's a contract between the people and Yehovah, or the blood of Yehovah. And people who believe in the New Testament should pay really close attention to what I just said. All right? I'm just saying, though.
All right. And Moshe went up, also Aharon, Nadav, Avihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the Elohim of Israel, and under his feet like a paved work of sapphire stone, and like the heavens for brightness.
Okay, and people should recognize that this is an ancient Hebrew word that is Samek, Fe, Yod, Resh, Sapir or Saphir, sapphire. That is where we get this word. The word sapphire comes from this word. Interesting, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you think about the throne room of Elohim, and at his feet were the paved work, and paved work is more like the brick of sapphire. Okay, so think about the sky. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
That's his, footstool, as mentioned later in Scripture.
Right.
The firmament, right?
Mm-hmm.
So his feet, the paved work, the brickwork of his footstool is sapphire in color. Yeah.
Yet he did not stretch out his hand against the chiefs of the children of Israel, and they saw Elohim, and they ate and drank.
Yeah, and Saul is not just Saul. There is a word for Saul. This is in vision. So it's not like they just saw him, but it was like they were there, right? They were having a vision of being in the presence of the Creator. And there they ate and drank. Eating and drinking with the Creator is not uncommon in the Torah. It happens very often. Anytime that you bring a sacrifice to Yehovah, it says in King James Version it says meat and drink sacrifice, but it's more like, any food product and drink product. And then you actually commune. This is where communion comes from. You actually commune with the Creator rather than just dropping off your stuff and leaving. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Okay. And Yehovah said to Moshe, "Come up to me on the mountain and be there, while I give you tablets of stone and the Torah and the command which I have written to teach them."
Very good. Now, here's an important thing. Tablets of stone and the Torah and the command. Okay? So these are three different things. And the fact is that the tablets of stone are not the Torah. The tablets of stone are not the commands. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The tablets of stone is something different, and it's not, he hasn't even given it to him yet, right? This is, in chapter 24, he says, when you come up here, I will give you tablets of stone. So, I mean, we're 4 chapters in, and he still hasn't given them the 10 commandments? That's suspicious, don't you think? Anyway.
Yeah, especially because we already read a chapter that was titled The 10 Commandments.
Right, and that's right here in chapter 20.
Yeah.
This is the quote-unquote 10 commandments. And the funny thing is after the last of the 10, it says, let's see, you do not covet your neighbor's wife, do not covet your neighbor's house, male servant, female servant, ox, donkey, whatever belongs to your neighbor. And that's the end, right? No. All the people saw the thunders and lightning, the flashes, the voice of the shofar, the mountain smoking. The people saw it. They trembled and stood at a distance. And they said to Moshe, you speak with us and we'll hear, but let not Elohim speak with us lest we die. So there was more commandments, but they got freaked out. And they're like, you go get the commandments and we'll hear what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says, the people stood at a distance, but Moshe drew near to the thick darkness. And Yehovah said to Moshe, say to the children of Israel, you've seen that I've spoken to you from the heavens. And then continues on. You do not make besides me mighty ones of silver, mighty ones of gold. If you make a altar, don't cut the stone, etc., etc. So right there, he's continuing the commandments, even in the end of chapter 20. But when you get taught the 10 commandments, they just stop reading at covet because they don't want you to look any farther. Because if there's more commandments to pay attention to, that's too much responsibility. You know, people want the elevator pitch to get to heaven, right? Mm-hmm. Like no responsibility then, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, Jesus come in my heart, go to heaven. You know, it's just, and that's what I used to believe. It's what I used to teach. So definitely don't believe that anymore. I believe there's actually a responsibility to investigate what the Creator wants us to do.
Yeah.
All right. Chapter 24.
And Moshe arose with his assistant, Yehoshua, and Moshe went up to the mountain of Elohim.
His assistant, Yehoshua. Those who know the man named Jesus should know that his real full name is Yehoshua, or Yeshua for short. Yehoshua is Yehovah is my salvation, or Yeshua means he will save. He had the same name as quote-unquote Joshua. He did not have a specific name. In fact, in the old King James versions of the Bible, Joshua, the son of Nun, is who this is talking about. But in the King James Version, in the New Testament, they accidentally translated it as Jesus, the son of Nun. but then they fixed it and changed it to Joshua. Because there was no distinction between Jesus and Joshua. Same name.
Right.
Yehoshua.
And he said to the elders, "Wait here for us until we come back to you, and see, Aharon and Hur are with you. Whoever that has matters, let him go to them."
Her.
Her.
Yes.
Yeah, my throat's too dry. I can't do it.
That's okay.
like
I just
They
picked it
must
up
be
for
walking around with things to sip while they talk.
you. Yeah. For sure. Yeah. Yeah, and yeah, wait here till we come back to you. So they're having this experience, right? On the mountain. They're in the presence of the Creator, eating and drinking. For lack of a better term, they were probably super lit, right? Super high in the experience. I doubt they wanted to move anyway.
Right.
I've been in that scenario, and I'm like, I'm not moving.
Right.
So, yeah.
Okay. Oh, the duckies are
Sorry
coming.
about them ducks.
And Moshe went up.
I'll mute for.
Okay. And Moshe went up into the mountain, and a cloud covered the mountain. And the esteem.
And of course, this cloud is the same cloud that they followed all the way through the desert, a cloud by day and by night a fire.
Okay. And the esteem of Jehovah dwelt on Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it for 6 days. And on the 7th day, he called to Moshe out of the midst of the cloud.
There seems to be a repeating pattern of 6 days and then the 7th day. Anyway.
Yeah.
The other thing is this is not esteem. This is the word kavod, which means heavy or glory. It's the same word as liver because it's the heaviest organ in the body, but it's kavod, as in glory or the heaviness of the Creator. In other words, you could feel it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The presence of the Creator.
Right, which totally makes sense. And the appearance of the esteem of Jehovah was like a consuming fire on the top of the mountain before the eyes of the children of Israel. So super bright light.
Yeah, and they often describe Jehovah as a consuming fire. That means anything of unpureness does not exist within that existence. It's pure light, pure fire.
Yeah. And Moshe went into the midst of the cloud and went up into the mountain. And it came to be that Moshe was on the mountain 40 days and 40 nights.
And there you go. And then you can change the transition of your view, or I could show you, you on top of you if you want, or I could stop sharing screen.
It's okay.
Do I stop sharing screen?
Yeah, that's fine. It's all good.
All right. Confirm stop sharing. All right. So anyways, we've been celebrating since Wednesday, and we'll be continuing to celebrate through Wednesday. So we're only 4 days in, and we got 4 days to go. So right in the midst of it. Woohoo! And right after that is the next following weekend is Flattoberfest. How convenient.
Yes.
How convenient.
Yes, it's finally here.
Yes. So, like I said, I have a busy month, but I'm loving every minute of it. It's been great. We had a few people come and visit us. I had my brother come down from Florida. That's why I have palm fronds up here, even though we don't have much palm fronds in South Carolina, which is really weird because they show a palm tree on the license plate for South Carolina. It makes no dang sense. There's no palm trees here.
It's
weird.
not a palm tree. It's a it's palmetto. It's a palmetto tree.
Yeah, we don't have those.
Well, they're the reason, you know the story behind it?
No, please. I've been wondering.
Okay.
Please. Go
The
ahead.
palmetto tree is a tree it's further south, like in southern South Carolina, so they're probably not going to be in your area. The trees grow actually closer to the coast where it's more humid. And these trees have a very spongy type wood, almost like a cork tree. And so what they did when they were being attacked by the British with their ships, when their ships came to the shore of South Carolina and they were launching cannons at all of their stuff, they had cut down a bunch of these trees and they had put them as shields in front of their military, whatever they had. And because the wood is so spongy, all the cannons just bounced off the palmetto trees.
Wow.
All night
Groovy.
long. And so that is why the South Carolina flag is like a nighttime scene with the palmetto tree and like the crescent moon.
Moon, yeah.
Yeah, because that's like all night long they were being hammered by the British, supposedly, as the story goes, with the cannons.
The alleged story, yes.
Yeah,
but
I'm just telling you what I read.
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And yes, I understand that further south because, down in Georgia, like Savannah, there's still palm trees. But yeah, definitely after you get past south of South Carolina, it's like, it's not even there, So I found that kind of weird that, but now that I know there's a history behind it, or a narrative behind it, I should say, it makes more sense. So
Right.
Yeah. So that's a short chapter. We wrapped it up, and we had to have it, right? Because we're gonna have a week on, a week off, a week on, a week off, because of everything that's going on. So.
Yeah, so we
we'll
won't be back until after Flattoberfest weekend, which is Halloween weekend.
No such thing.
It's the 29th.
Bah humbug. No such thing.
I know, the 29th. So our next scripture study will be on the 29th. So just so everybody who's following along knows. Okay?
Wait, when is Flattoberfest?
It's the 22nd and the 23rd, and then the Friday is the 21st.
That makes sense.
With the free meetup at the park.
That makes sense. Okay.
Okay? All right.
Yep. And so the 29th will be our next stream, and I don't know, we may not go like chapter by chapter for much longer because we're going to get to the point where we're getting into the logistics of building the tabernacle, and it's very dry. It's not anything that pertains to us specifically. It's like construction notes that, won't matter to us because we're not building a tabernacle.
Yeah. There is a whole interesting thing around that, though.
If you, I'm talking to the audience now. If you desire to hear us go through the tabernacle construction, feel free to email me at justjackflatearth@gmail.com. And if you want us to get into it, we will, if enough people ask for it. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
Shabbat Shalom and Chag Sameach, which means happy spinning festival. And Carolyn says hi.
Hi.
And I hope you all are enjoying this week. I know I will be.
Yes. I'm going to be probably quite busy this week.
Yep.
Mark's going to be in town soon. He'll be here live with me doing Strange World Tuesday night.
Awesome. Maybe we'll stop by. We'll see. All right. So Earth's still flat.
Earth is definitely still flat.
All right.
We'll see
Shabbat
y'all.
Shalom, y'all.
Shabbat Shalom, and hope to see y'all at Flattoberfest.
Here, here.